If you are looking for addiction counseling, solution-focused, maybe an approach that you like. Solution focus is a very different way of thinking about problems. Solution focus does not necessarily assume that drug use or relapse is the problem. And solution focus assumes that it's not we, the counselors, that know what works for you, but you are the expert. So you really need to listen to what you are concerned about, which may or may not be drug use. We don't know. So it could be any number of things other than 4 issues mentioned in this slide here, but that are really troubling you. And so don't let your counselor assume what it is. We as counselors need to be open to what it really is for you. So if really we haven't heard you, we're not doing our job. We counselors need to be able to say back to you exactly what you said to us. Confident that you've been heard, then you could feel like moving on. Moving on, not to what we want, but to what you want. Then we can help you uncover something that's already there in your life that will help you move to where you want to go. So what we uncovered here is that this person looking for housing has a strength in that he or she is really making an effort. So the counselor looks for the hidden preference or progress in the statement that you make. Or the counselor explores the reverse side of the statement that you make. Or your statement might trap you in a difficult space. We point you in a more promising direction. The questioning searches for progress, positives, and potentials, and the counselor cannot guess what good things might come out. Be ready for interesting surprises. It's what is already in the client's life that has the potential. Questions like these may take time, rewording, and exploration. Normal addiction counseling will go after triggers and analyze them and try to figure out how to take them apart and develop tools to address them. But solution focus is different. It doesn't assume that the problem is necessarily related to the solution at all. This question here zeroes in on what enhances the person's life in ways that don't seem to have any direct bearing on the addiction problem or the craving or the trigger problem. The emphasis is on the life-enhancing action that the person takes, repeatable action. The key word here is already. This focuses on factors that are already present in the person's life. Or the person may see that when they're involved in their interests, the cravings don't have to dominate. So you may have been called an addict, but in reality you're much more than that. You have a whole other life. And you can feed that better life represented by the pink container rather than putting all the energy into trying to stop something. So we're not opposed to stopping a damaging behavior, but when your better life is already there, why not identify it, enhance it, repeat it, keep doing it, focus on it, live it when you can, because it's already there and you already know how to do it. So the cat and mouse game here is not to catch yourself in a slip, but to reach for and grasp your better life that's already there. Explore your life, your past with your counselor. You never know what may turn up. We're looking for repeatable behaviors that you already have in your collection of experience. And as you notice things that you're already doing that improve your life, we're going to help you mine like gold for more of that in the way that you visualize your future. Eyes closed, you begin to see details, fuzzy at first, maybe unclear at first, of a better future when we guide you to visualize it. As you begin to see this better future in more detail, which we've launched you into with what we call the miracle question, and more details appear, it becomes more clear, you notice things maybe that you've already started, already thought about, and your focus is on a better future. And here's the amazing part. You will find that something that is already there, already happening, already thought about, something you're already doing, will link you to that better future, as if you've already got one hand grasping it. So now we have an imaginary person, we'll call her Georgina, and she's beginning to visualize her better future, but it just seems too remote, too far away, almost out of reach. However, the point is that she's got something there that she's seeing that fits, that is right for her. But we are going to discover how Georgina is already doing some little piece of that future. And we invite her to think about doing more of that little thing, so-called little thing, really big actually. The healthy, happy, promising things that you do begin to make a big difference in your life, in how you see your life, in the potential in your life. A small step of preparation can begin to make a huge difference. And we put success into Georgina's life when we give her commitments that she cannot fail at. She will know that she can do this. And when you know you won't fail, you often go further. Something repeatable so you can build a better life. Repeatable. And you can start to get ahead of your counselor. As your focus becomes more on practicing, enjoying your new and better life, you will be less and less needing to talk about or worry about substance abuse. You will lose a lot of interest in it. You can learn to think very differently about your day-to-day life. You can learn to focus more on times when you're not feeling the problem as much. Those are called exceptions. Again, when we find an exception, we focus on pinpointing what is it about the exception that is most helpful to you. And we give you a very specific commitment to do where it's almost impossible to. You're being trained in a different way of thinking, a different way of living. Now think of something more rewarding that you did, and then think, how did I do that? Maybe I could do it because of a different focus. Another kind of question we ask is called the scaling question, which basically asks you to rate where you are and asks you to think about what's keeping it from being worse. In the solution-focused method, you make fail-safe commitments that reward you with activities often that you have already been doing, but we're just asking you to do more of them. And you can learn to do this skill on your own. The focus will be much more on your fail-safe, sure thing, new and better life commitment. Much more on that than on any worries about using. Solution-focused therapy is doing what works to enhance your life. It's much more about starting or continuing life and health than it is about stopping something.